Enduring tremendous hardship can contribute to your personal transformation and development in a number of ways. I'm going to talk about some of those ways in this video. One of my favorite quotes of all time is from the Sufi poet Rumi. And he said, "The wound is where the light enters you." And I absolutely believe this. In my own life, I've had a mostly easy, wonderful life, and it's been punctuated by a few pretty dark experiences and moments. And I wouldn't give any of those moments up because I know that through the healing work that I've done, through the personal transformation work, these hardships have been the catalysts for some of the biggest growth and development in my life. And while I wouldn't wish those experiences on anybody, I absolutely wouldn't ever take them back. They are mine, and I believe that they have made me a better person and a more evolved soul. There are a lot of ways that these experiences can change us, and every single person is unique. So this video is not intended to be prescriptive in any way and tell you what you should be doing or how you should be living, but perhaps if you've had some hardship and you're struggling with it, to make sense of it, perhaps this video can give you some perspective about how you might be able to look at it in a more positive way. The first thing I'll say is that one of the biggest ways that hardship can transform your life is simply by you making a decision and making a choice that it will transform your life for the better. A lot of times people tell you when things are hard, they tell you, "Don't worry, it'll get better." And that's a really nice thing. I know that that comes from a place of love, and the desire in saying that is to make somebody feel better. But it doesn't always feel true. And the truth is that sometimes it doesn't feel like it's going to get better. And so my invitation to you is to, at some point, maybe right now, make a decision, make a choice that you will relate to everything that happens to you, bad or good, as part of your journey and part of a way to make you a better, more evolved, more fulfilled human being. So what that means is when you make that choice, when you sit down and once and for all say, I'm going to relate to my hardship as something that's helping me grow, it changes the way you look at the hardship. So that's what I would say is the first piece of what I'm going to share, is making that choice, making it conscious, making it intentional, rather than looking back in hindsight like I did and saying, wow, that actually made me a better person. Instead, looking forward and saying, every hardship I will encounter is going to make me a better person. It will make me more grateful, more loving, more kind, more compassionate, whatever it is. So that's my invitation to you, to start from that place of making that decision. Because it's not something that you sort of wait for and stumble over and eventually just happens, or it can be, but it's something that you can choose and decide. When you go through something and you live and you survive, that's resiliency, being able to bounce back from something, being able to continue forward in spite of having an experience. I'll never forget this video that I saw, a filmmaker. I saw this video in Utah. He was from Utah, and he made a video of a woman in Utah, and she had been hiking with her boyfriend, and they were running on rocks, and she ran right off a cliff. And of course, like shattered her spine and, just almost died, obviously, but she didn't die. She was able to live, but she lost the use of her legs, much of the use of her hands. And for a lot of people, that would be kind of the end, right? It's over. But actually that experience, through many years of rehabilitation and through many years of working through it, it made her a better person. She became somebody who started to teach other people how to recover from tremendous hardship. So she turned it into something else. That's resiliency. To the point where, and this is my point in telling you this story, at the end of the movie about her, the filmmaker asked her, if you had to do it all over again, would you still jump? Would you still do what you did? And she said, yes, she would. She still can't walk. She still lost the use of much of her hands, but she found her voice. She's a speaker now. She speaks about hardship and resiliency. She found herself through that process, and she wouldn't give that up. So that's one of the things that hardship can do for us. It can help us push through and find meaning in our lives through that hardship. By the way, if you are loving this video, and I hope you are, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to my channel. I would love to also hear from you in the comments below. What hardships have you endured, and how has it made you a better person? Another thing that facing hardship or working through it can do is it can help give you more self-awareness. When we hit up against our obstacles, our limitations, it can make us realize certain things about ourselves. We can have aha moments and moments of lucidity about who we are and how we operate. Hardship shows us what we're made of. We can have a deeper, more intimate relationship with ourselves through hardship. Another thing it can do, which I mentioned briefly earlier, is it can help us develop a sense of purpose. A lot of times you've seen people like this who get diagnosed with some horrible illness and end up surviving, and then they turn that into their life's work going forward, or people who start charities because they've lost somebody close to them. I know a woman whose son died by suicide because he was using this very potent marijuana that most people aren't aware is very different from the marijuana of the 60s and the 70s. And so she's now spent her whole life sharing with people this information, explaining to them how marijuana today is very different from marijuana in the 60s and 70s. So she's now dedicated her life to education and saving other people's kids' lives, right? So she's found a sense of purpose through this experience. Another way that hardship can help us grow is by giving us appreciation for life. There's nothing like almost dying, for example, to make you be grateful that you're alive. And being grateful you're alive is a great energy from which to live your life. Going through hardship also builds empathy and compassion. When we've suffered and when we are with our own suffering, it makes it a lot better, a lot easier for us to be with the suffering of others. Helps open our hearts, make us more compassionate and loving human beings. So I hope this gives you some insight, if you're going through a really difficult time right now, how you might be able to turn it into something positive and meaningful. And if you're interested in learning more about me and what I do in my business, I help people build businesses that are meaningful and valuable. And you can learn more at superstarbusinessbreakthrough.com.